The US president and his British counterpart had a stellar political relationship, the pair often pictured together during visits to their respective countries. They had similar ascents to power, Mrs. Thatcher entering office in 1979 until 1990, while Mr. Reagan took the White House in 1981 and eventually left 8 years later in 1989. He subscribed to much of her new interpretation of conservatism, known as Thatcherism, that sought to embrace the free market with restrained government spending and tax cuts, coupled with nationalism at home and abroad. Their relationship has been a subject of much interest, and will be further scrutinized in the BBC's new two-part documentary, Thatcher and Reagan, A Very Special Relationship. Mrs. Thatcher's authorized biographer Charles Moore will explore the former Prime Minister's extremely close relationship with Mr. Reagan in the 80s, charting their bond that came amid the backdrop of the Cold War and the threat of nuclear Armageddon. Mr. Moore will meet and talk with the people who were in the room with them as they faced the greater challenge of their age. While their relationship was mostly flawless, one incident did nearly drive a wedge between them. In 2014, newly released White House tape transcripts revealed how Mr. Reagan sought to mollify a furious Mrs. Thatcher after the U.S. invaded Grenada, part of the Commonwealth, without giving her advance warning. This was despite one close aide to the former president describing the pair as political soulmates. In October 1983, he ordered American troops to invade the Caribbean island after the overthrow and murder of the Prime Minister, Maurice Bishop. The invasion was strongly criticized by Britain, Canada and Trinidad and Tobago. While the fighting was still going on, Mr. Reagan called Mrs. Thatcher to apologize. As an opening gambit, he said, "If I were there, Margaret, I'd throw my hat in the door before I came in." Mrs. Thatcher replied curtly, "There's no need to do that." He went on to claim that the U.S. was afraid of telling anyone about the invasion in advance, including those Caribbean states that had requested American intervention, because of fears of a mole. Mr. Reagan continued, "Incidentally, let me tell you that we were being so careful here that we didn't even give a firm answer to the Caribbean states. We told them that we were planning, but we were so afraid of this source and what it would do, it could almost abort a mission, with the lives that could have been endangered. When word came of your concerns, by the time I got it, the 0 hour had passed, and our forces were on their way." Analysis: I want you to know there was no feeling on our part of lack of confidence at your end. It's at our end. The explanation, focusing on fears of a leak, worked on Mrs. Thatcher, who admitted she had had similar fears before the invasion of the Falklands. She replied, "I know about sensitivity, because of the Falklands. That's why I would not speak for very long even on the secret telephone to you. Because even that can be broken. I'm very much aware of sensitivities. The action is underway now and we just hope it will be successful." She ended the 10-minute call by explaining that she had to return to a tricky debate in the House of Commons. Mr. Reagan told her to go get M, and to eat M alive before Mrs. Thatcher ended the call with a simple goodbye. The secret recordings from the White House, alongside many other calls with heads of state, were found by author William Doyle. The process of recording conversations was thought to have stopped in the Richard Nixon era, but Mr. Doyle found out that Mr. Reagan regularly tape-recorded talks in order to keep an accurate record of talks. Their relationship continued in positive spirits, and in 2013 Julian Zelizer, a Princeton University historian told CNN, "She certainly liked Reagan a lot from the moment he won office and he felt the same. They had a deep respect, admiration and a friendship." In 2004, attending his funeral, Mrs. Thatcher said of Mr. Reagan, "We have lost a great president, a great American and a great man. And I have lost a dear friend." Thatcher and Reagan, a very special relationship, airs at 9 p.m. on BBC Two.